vibrant and very, very hot city of Dusseldorf.
Every single one of these competitors from 21 nations across the globe has already begun the race. The race to lead by example. The race to recovery. Their race and no one else's. At the pace of their choice with their teammates beside them. And Invictus is for all. The competitors, the husbands, wives, partners, the parents, the children, friends, relatives, comrades. For all of them to say, with pride, we are Invictus.
This looks so awesome. Dear competitors, herzlich willkommen in Düsseldorf. Welcome to Düsseldorf.
A warm welcome to Germany. We are very proud to host the Invictus Games for the first time here in our country. These games bring together more than 500 athletes from 21 countries. But Invictus is so much more than a sports festival. Invictus is a celebration of your courage, your mental and physical strength, and your readiness to defend the security of us all. These games build a home for respect. Respect for your service, for the sacrifices you made, and for your heroic recoveries.
Welcome to Germany. Welcome to the home for respect.
You were part of a purpose larger than yourself, and that feeling felt good. Remember, you are not only watching or participating in sport, but experiencing the magic of the human spirit. Learning firsthand from those who live not bound by their journey, but instead freed by it. So, to our Invictus community, you have my respect. Respect for your qualities as humans, respect for maintaining our values and principles, respect for your abilities and your achievements. Are you ready? Let's do this! Thank you!
Dusseldorf is a wonderful city in the heart of Europe on the banks of the River Rhine. More than 650,000 people live here. We have people from about 180 nations living in our town. You can meet Japanese people, you can stroll through a Moroccan quarter, you can visit the traditional part of the town, the old part of town. You can go shopping on our famous Königsallee. You can enjoy the sunset on the banks of the River Rhine. We are a wonderful city. We are dedicated to sports. We have excellent culture, galleries and museums. And it's just a wonderful, livable place right in the heart of Germany and Europe. The tower is definitely a place to visit in Düsseldorf. We call it the Rheinturm or Rhine Tower. It's got a famous restaurant up there and you have a great overview over the city. It's got really good sights, and we have the Merkur Spiel Arena, one of our famous sports venues where it's the home of our soccer team, Fortuna Düsseldorf. Preparing for the Invictus Games was a joint team effort between the city of Düsseldorf and the German military, the Bundeswehr. Everybody enjoyed this cooperation. It was a new experience for many of the people who work in there, and everybody's very excited. So everybody of the great Invictus family, welcome to Dusseldorf.
The opening day of action at the Invictus Games 2023 featured an exciting programme of athletics. The track at Invictus Park bathed in sunshine, and hot conditions didn't deter Jacob Anthony from the USA, who reached the final of the men's 100 metres IT7 Masters. Also qualifying was fellow countryman Kevin Colburn, who ran out a clear winner. a competitive field in the open category, and quickest away in the middle lane was Jack Church from New Zealand. He kept his cool and his concentration to race to victory. Two of the finalists in the IT6 category for visually impaired runners were assisted by guides. Wally Norrie from the United Kingdom in the middle showed great skill in securing victory.
Fantastic finish and a win for Wally Norrie!
The win clearly meant a lot to him, an emotional moment for the athlete on such an important stage. The first heat of the women's 100 metres IT7 Masters saw Jenny Hartley from the UK in impressive form. The result was in doubt until she ran clear of her rivals late on. Her performance makes her favourite for the gold medal. The spirit of these games was summed up perfectly in the men's IT5 category. Valentin Popper from Romania was lifted by tremendous support from his coaches and the crowd. It didn't matter that it took him more than 22 minutes to complete the distance of 1,500 metres. For him, all that mattered was that he finished, and with marvellous encouragement on and off the track, he enjoyed a moment that will live with him forever.
The powerlifting saw the strongest competitors at the Invictus Games 2023 show off their amazing skills. It was a day to remember for Australia. Francine Dudfield, one of the stars of the show. One of the most famous faces at these games is Yulia Paevska, who has a remarkable story. The Ukrainian paramedic was unable to take part in the games at The Hague last year after she was captured in the conflict with Russia. A moment to treasure for the Ukrainian and all those taking part in these uplifting games. Athletes glad to be sharing the same stage, especially Erin Brigden, another Australian gold medalist. Prince Harry among the spectators at this sporting festival. It wasn't necessarily about winning, just being there and being part of such a special occasion was all that mattered.
My name is Stacey Denyer. I'm representing Team UK. The sports I'm doing are powerlifting and indoor rowing, and the reason I am here is because I have multiple sclerosis and osteoarthritis in my knees. For me, coming to the Invictus Games, even being amongst other Team UK competitors, everyone is very inspiring. Everyone has a different story. And I'm hoping to share my story and to hear other people's stories from all over the world. And for me, I hope to get personal bests on my lifts and on my rowing, and if I get a medal, that's just a bonus. So I served for nearly 19 years in the Royal Air Force as police. I've travelled the world. I did 3 years in Cyprus. I've done a lot of time in the Middle East, including Iraq, Afghanistan, Qatar, Oman, UAE, and then all over Europe and all over the USA. After years of ignoring everything, one day my legs just wouldn't work. I couldn't get out of bed. And it was then that I thought I need to get more help. So it took a lot of courage to go and say, you know, I'm not feeling great. I think I've got multiple sclerosis. I think it's flared up. And yeah, it kind of gradually went down, but I got told the fitter that you stay, the more chance you have at the MS not getting so bad. So that's why I try to keep fit by rowing and powerlifting. think it's really, really good for the support, the emotional support, and seeing other people who are like you. In my last couple of years of service, I felt like a bit of an outsider because I wasn't fit. I couldn't deploy overseas. I couldn't do the running. So I felt less than. I felt than a burden. I felt like a burden to people. But being amongst other people here who are also military and ex-military, it just gives you that better cohesion and understanding and empathy. I think it's really important to spread the message out to people, whether they have physical disability, if they have a mental health condition, or if they are not disabled in one way whatsoever, that you should do everything that you can while you still can. You need to look back on life with no regrets. I wish I had done more when I could still use my legs. I wish I could have run a marathon, but now I can row a marathon instead. But my main thing is I want to achieve everything I can. I want to achieve my full potential while I still can, because one day I might not.
Suzanne Brown of the USA made a strong challenge in the women's IF4 discus. That throw would secure third place for the American. Stacey Adam from New Zealand was also enjoying her time in Dusseldorf. She clinched second place with this impressive attempt. Victory went to Joanna Labonte, the Canadian, a class act in this event. Her throw more than 2 metres further than her nearest rival. Labonte clearly delighted with the result and determined to celebrate in style. A great day for Canada, occupying 2 of the top 5 places. The Invictus Games are the climax of a long journey for many athletes, including Jens Niemeyer. Niemeyer came third in the men's IF4 shot put. It was a big moment for him, his joy shared with an emotional German camp. The final of the men's IT 400 metres provided an exciting finish. Gregory Walker on the inside had Team UK's Richard Potter in his sights and eventually made his move to clinch victory. Walker was also a member of the USA's 4x100 metres team, a formidable quartet led off by Keontae Story. Walker ran the third leg, and the honour of leading his side to victory went to Jacob Anthony. Ukraine came a close second, and third place went to Team Unconquered, wearing the black colours. All round, it was a great day for the triumphant American athletics squad.
I did my personal best in the 1500, was able to take home a silver, and after that we went to the 100 meter, and then after the 100 meter I was able to pull out the gold just by 0.1 seconds. That was a great feeling. I worked hard for that one. The GB guys, they're quick, they're strong, and I'm glad I was able to come out on top. Right now I just was able to take home the gold in the 400, and I came out strong, was able to get my personal best, and it feels great to be out here.
My name is Stef Wolpert. I am from Belgium, and I am competing in athletics, 100, 200, 400, 1500, and 4x100. I'm doing the indoor rowing 4 minutes event. I'm also part of the sitting volleyball team, and I'm doing cycling, time trial, and the road race. They never found out what I really have, so I don't have any diagnosis. They only know that I'm paralyzed right and here. The starting point of my recovery was Invictus Games, but I also decided that I had enough of neurologists, of doctors, and it didn't matter what I had. Having my family next to me in those dark moments was very, very important. Without my wife, Catherine, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I would be dead. I would have committed suicide. I really, really know that for a fact. I even thought about it several times. It was a bit like, it would have been selfish to do it. For her, for our kids, for my family. And all those years, they stood by my side. So the most important lesson that we should learn from the experience is to never give up. Always continue. There's always hope. There's always a new dream. And your family, your friends can help you accomplish that dream. Don't sit alone in your dark place. Talk to people. Accept the help of your family and friends. They're there for you, and in fact, you are there for them as well. Because by receiving from them, you are giving back to them. And that's the most important, I think. If I have to describe the Invictus Games in 3 words, then I would pick tenacity, never give up, and hope. I would like to be part of it for the rest of my life. If somebody would propose me to come every 2 years, I would say yes. I would come every 2 years.
The Merkur Arena attracted a big crowd, everyone anticipating the men's powerlifting in categories IP9 and IP10. Each athlete has 3 attempts to lift a weight of their choice. The attempt is valid if both arms are fully extended and the athlete has the weight under control. The United States of America celebrated a double triumph in Class IP9. Christopher Ferrell lifted 163 kilograms and took gold ahead of teammate Daniel Norman, who also raised the same weight. However, Norman is slightly heavier in his weight class and therefore received fewer points, costing him victory. Johnny Ball of the United Kingdom took bronze. In Class IP10, the heaviest category, things were more clear-cut. Stephen Lockwood from Australia came 3rd with 140 kilograms. He was overtaken by Daniel Comu, the Canadian, lifting a fantastic 159 kilograms. However, there was no stopping Paweł Lizik from Poland. He destroyed the rest of the field with an incredible 225 kilograms, a weight achieved with his 2nd attempt. Event had reached a thrilling climax. Happy faces all round among the powerlifters. And before we leave you, earlier on today, the Merkur Arena took a moment to pause and reflect as the Invictus Games held a moment of silence to remember the victims of the September 11 attack on the United States of America. The men's discus in the IF4 Open category produced an exciting battle for the medals. Dariusz Cegielska from Poland set the pace and achieved a best distance of 37 metres 6. It didn't deter DeMarcus Garrett of the USA though. He bettered that throw with his 2nd attempt to move into the silver medal position. The Americans sensed a podium 1-2, and with his 2nd attempt, Javier Cardona threw the discus well clear of his rivals. Gold and silver then for an ecstatic American side. The men's 1500 metres in Class IT1 took place in a wonderful atmosphere, the crowd lapping up the excitement, the spirit of the Invictus Games on display. Once the race began to hot up, Belgium's Stefan Wolf-Woolput finished ahead of America's Jeffrey Peters and Almeida Arquinedos Alberto from Colombia. The IT7 men's heats over 200 metres saw Paulo Moy of the Netherlands finish ahead of Kevin Coleman of the USA. The result, though, was reversed in the 100 metres. Here, in the final, neither had a chance against Alan McSween from the United Kingdom. Easily the fastest in his class, here second from the right, he sped off early and clinched another gold medal for Team UK. In the women's 200 metres IT7 final, Alexandra Jay from Australia probably had the most difficult task in the yellow top. She had to try to assert herself against three strong Americans. In the last corner, she was still behind Fahima Boston Ali and put in a great sprint to the line to take the bronze medal. Gold went to Nicole Favuza ahead of Jessica Garcia. Another glorious triumph for the US track and field team, underlining their strength at these games.
Nicole Favuza! Second place, Jessica Garcia. Third place, Alexandra Jay.
Hi, my name is Annika Hutzler. I am representing Team US. I am competing in track, field, swimming, and table tennis, and I am a right below knee amputee. The Invictus Games really conceptualizes the fact that we are here to show what we are able to push through and what we're able to accomplish just with the power of our mindset. The fact that there are competitors here from different countries, different branches, different injuries, different stories, but we all come together because we all have one common goal. My story began when I enlisted into boot camp. I was in the Marine Corps and I enlisted into boot camp, and I started feeling pain in my foot. And I just was told, hey, that's normal. The Marine Corps loves to say pain is weakness leaving the body. So I just thought this is normal pain. And I kept that mindset all the way to finish boot camp, to finish my combat training, and then eventually the pain got too bad, so I went to medical. And when I went to medical, they told me, you have a stress fracture. So my bone was broken a little bit in my foot. They put me in a walking boot, and when the normal recovery time for a stress fracture didn't happen, when we got to the end of the 8 weeks and my foot wasn't healed, they did an MRI, and my doctor came in on February 1st, 2018. He said, so you never had a stress fracture, but you do have a tumor, but don't freak out. And at that point, I honestly was in shock. I was like, I have a tumor? Like, that's not what I thought I was coming in here to be told. And so I was like, so what's our next step? And we began trying to save the foot. And there was a lot of surgeries done, a lot of procedures done to try to shrink the tumor, to try to remove the tumor, and some things that ended very poorly, which ended in infection, ended in nerve pain, ended in scar tissue, nerve damage. And so I looked at my doctor one day and I said, how many more times are we going to do this surgery to try to remove the tumor before there's so much scar tissue, before there's so much pain, before it's not worth saving anymore? And my doctor told me I give it 5 to 10 years. And so at 22 years old, I said, cut it off now. I'm not waiting the next 5 to 10 years, wasting my life knowing that this is inevitable. On February 2nd, 2019, they amputated my right leg below the knee, and was the best day of my life. Because during this time that they were trying to save my leg, I had so many life-threatening infections. I was in and out of hospitals. I was just going doctor visit to doctor visit. And I think it's very easy for us as individuals to think, why me? Why is this happening to me? Like, it gets very frustrating and very discouraging. I saw so many people be successful with their amputations. I have a very difficult time with how my service ended in the military. Why am I the person that is representing Team US when other people had a, in my opinion, a more realistic military experience? But the reality is there's other people out there like me. I think the Invictus Games represents resiliency, community, and being unconquerable.
The bronze medal match in wheelchair rugby was a repeat of the 2022 encounter, Australia versus France. The French in blue missed out on a medal last time in The Hague. Revenge their aim this time round, and it ended up being one of the most exciting matches at these Invictus Games. It didn't take long for Alexandra to score the first try for France.
Number 14.
The Australians held a narrow 10-9 lead at the break. Perfect block from the attackers allowed Lenny Redrose to make the score 17-12. France knew their chance had gone. Australia winning a thrilling match by 20 tries to 17.
Let's go! Yeah!
The French had to settle for 4th place yet again. The final was also a repeat of 12 months earlier. The United States of America trying to defend the title against the United Kingdom. Among the crowd, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, founded the Invictus Games and was keen to see which country would come out on top. The Americans got off to a good start, led by Brent Garlick.
And the first try of the game is...
He scored 3 successive tries as the USA raced ahead. The UK needed their best player, Charlie Holford, to deliver, and he did show his class, scoring all 4 of his team's first half tries. The USA maintained their superiority and continued to pull away. 21-13 the final score. Team UK at least had the satisfaction of picking up a silver medal in front of a big crowd at the Merkur Arena. The gold medal was presented to Team USA by the Duke of Sussex. The most memorable and magical moments from the Invictus Games 2023. Strength, endurance and determination, qualities vital for the sport of indoor rowing. In the men's IR4 class, the USA's Jason Smith came out on top from a large field. He finished ahead of teammate Scott Caroon and Colombian Jan Carlos Gutierrez Lopez. It was full speed ahead also in the IR3 class for athletes who only row with one arm or use support. Vladimir Tovskis prevailed in a close race. Roberto Como from Italy took silver at the last second with a lead of just 1 metre from Belgium Thierry Dutry. It wasn't just the winner who was exhausted and happy, everyone was relieved to have completed the session. There was also a strong field in class IR35 for athletes with leg impairments and the visually impaired. Therefore there were 2 races. Nathan Huddy from the United Kingdom won his heat. Stefan Wolf-Woolput from Belgium came 3rd. However, both admirable efforts weren't enough to get among the medals. In the second run, athletes did even better, pushing themselves to the limit. Mikola Zaritsky from Ukraine won gold, rowing more than 1,200 metres and finishing clear of June Lee from the Republic of Korea and Gregory Qualls from the United States of America. The Ukrainian received the deserved congratulations from his teammates. The other medals were also hotly contested among the men in the IR7 class. The Australian Andrew Tebbett defeated Chris Anslow and Morgan Daly from the United Kingdom. The women's competition in the IR6 class was a thriller. In the first run, 12 athletes were almost equal, but after 4 minutes it was Erin Brigden of Australia who won in a sprint finish. Her tiredness was soon forgotten. Julia Eiricht from Germany produced an incredible performance in the second heat. After 4 minutes of intense competition, she probably had no idea that she actually won bronze behind Stacey Adam from New Zealand. The crowd were enjoying the action. In the men's IR6 class, German Moritz Mienke, here on the right in lane 10, came first in his run, which meant 3rd place overall. The medals were only decided in the 3rd heat of the IR6 class. Ben Gallagher of the United Kingdom managed 1,275 metres in 4 minutes to win the gold medal.
Table tennis is making its debut as a sport at these Invictus Games and has attracted plenty of entrants. To lift the title here in Dusseldorf, doubles pairs need to win 7 matches in a row. No easy task. By the time Israel's Yagur Cesari and Menash Zorik faced Germany's Torsten Kardel and Christian Munster in the semi-finals, both pairs had already played 5 matches, whose winning streak would continue. At 1 game each and at 5-all in the deciding game, the Germans went 2 points clear. But Cesari and Zorik turned up the aggression and forced their way back into the game, earning a match point at 10-9. And the Germans, this time, were out of answers, ending their title chances. Instead of gold, they'd play for bronze against Denmark and their pairing of Mike Holmberg and Kenneth Hiltolf. A tight first 10 points, then Germany went 4 points ahead. But this time it brought up match point. A big roar to mark a bronze medal for Torsten Kardel and Christian Munster. Then it was the gold medal match. 1 flag, 2 teams, 4 unbeaten players. On the left, a Yagur Cesari and Menash Zorik, and on the right, a Boas Arad and Yagil Lagzil. Cesari and Zorik settled much quicker into the final and took a commanding lead, and then the first game. They were all businesslike, in appearances at least. The second game, the eagerness of Arad and Lagzil to get back into the contest played into their opponent's hand. And it wasn't long before match point came to pass. Yagur Cesari and Menash Zorik winning in straight games to take the title for Israel. A new nation at these Invictus Games, winning in a new sport.
I feel honored. I feel great to be among the pioneers, the first African country to represent in Germany. I feel on the Invictus Games, and I feel very, very happy. I'm excited to be the team captain of Team Nigeria. It's not easy, but I feel honored. I feel honored. I'm very, very happy.
It's exciting. It's an experience for us. And we are elated as a nation that we are part of these games, and I'm part of a community, and it's something you can't purchase, you can't buy. And an experience is more than the medals, the love, the food, meeting different people, different nations, different languages. It's an experience. It's an experience. Feedback from the boys, they are excited that they could meet people like them. And the love for them is massive, and they're enjoying every bit of it. For me, and it's a clarion call to other nations in Africa, that this is something that we would want them to be part of. I'm the first team manager in Africa. I pride myself with that title, and it's a clarion call that Africa needs to join this community.
It's really exciting for us, for all of us. It's the first time for Colombia. The first Latin American country participating in the Invictus Games. We're really proud to be here. We prepare ourselves for that. They were training many times or preparing for this competition. But it's not only about competing. We like to share with other countries. So that's the most important part. Share with others, sharing experiences, and doing our best.
For Colombia to be here for the first time is very important, because it's a good opportunity that people around the world know what the soldiers in Colombia are doing all the time. we have internal conflict, and we have many soldiers who was injured during the service, and this is very important because people know what happened in Colombia right now.
It's the first time we come here. It's the first international race we do, all of us. And you meet a lot of people, a lot of injuries. It's very interesting. To be part of the Invictus is unique, it's huge, it's amazing things going on here. I would recommend to all of the countries to join the Invictus.
After 2 days of frantic wheelchair basketball action, it was time for the medal matches in the Merkurspiel Arena. First, Team Unconquered and Team UK competing for the bronze medal. The countries had met in the group stages when Team Unconquered ran out 14-4 winners. Team UK in the red edged the first period, going ahead 11-8 with this basket from Gary Callier. Team Unconquered is largely made up of German and Dutch competitors, and a noisy crowd made for a lively atmosphere. The second period began with a brilliant basket from Chris Quater, one of Team Unconquered's sharpest shooters at this tournament. But Team UK were playing some great basketball of their own, with Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineer veteran Matt Trigg scoring the last basket of the match to seal victory and the bronze medal for Team UK. Then it was time for the gold medal contest, and adding to the excitement of the match between the USA and France was the arrival of VIP guests in Harry and Meghan. The USA have been basketball champions at the last 4 Invictus Games, and they set out to stamp their authority on this final, going 6 points up with this basket from Carly James. The Americans were even able to make it look easy. Brent Garlick and Kevin Green here linking up smoothly for the basket. France were trailing 16 points to 0 when they scored their first points, a moment celebrated by everyone in the stands. The French needed to put on a light show of their own in the second half, and although they started scoring more often, the USA kept netting as well. What a shot this was from Danielle Pothou. France were nonetheless enjoying the occasion and scored as many points as the USA in the second period. But when the hooter went, the final score read the USA 29, France 15. The USA had defended their title to win a 5th consecutive Invictus Games wheelchair basketball crown. The presentation saw Team UK join France and the USA to receive their medals, with Harry and Meghan given the chance to personally congratulate the victors. To the swimming pool, where it was finals time. In the 100 metres freestyle ISB category, there was no form guide, as no heats had taken place. So Germany's Armin Wittchak in lane 7 might have been as surprised as anyone to find himself the runaway leader after 4 lengths. The German taking gold ahead of Scott Caroon of the United States of America. In the women's ISE 100 metres free, there was form, with Erin Brigden of Australia having qualified as the fastest. Brigden went in lane 4 and proved her pace from early on, sustaining it through to the last stroke. In the men's 50 metres ISB backstroke for competitors with impaired lower limb function, such as leg amputation, Ukraine's Dmitry Polyvion and Colombia's Camilo Sanchez were the 2 quickest in qualifying and went in lanes 3 and 4. And it was Sanchez who came through for the gold, one of 3 gold medals he won in the pool, to go with 3 gold medals from the track. In the men's 50 metres free ISC final, it was the turn of Nazar Vozniuk of Ukraine to dazzle, stopping the clock at just over 30 seconds for 2 lengths of exemplary freestyle swimming. Prince Harry and Meghan found their places in the stands, while Heather Seelover of the United States of America was adamant she'd find her place on the podium in the 50 metres free, and she did just that, with ease. In the men's 50 metres breaststroke ISD category, Richard Davis of Team UK had the pick of the lanes after qualifying, and he put that to good use, emerging as the clear leader towards the end of the first length to take gold for Team UK. Marius Typhus came second for Romania, and Shalom Zanzouri took third for Israel. Typhus was later disqualified. Then it was the mixed 4x50 metres relays, in which Australia were the favourites. Competition would come from the USA and from Ukraine. Though, for once, Australia were ahead and never looked like dropping the pace. The yellow cap, a beacon which the others had to follow.
My name is Volodymyr Hara. I am from Ukraine. In this game, I will try and shot archer, pool, swimming, and table tennis. My friends volunteer, tell me about the Invictus Games, tell what is this, tell the soldiers and officers who have something damaged can be try in the sports when this guy won. And I think this is cool because I was not a professional sportsman, but I can feel the same like in the Paralympics. When I finished study in the military academy, Russia was annexing Crimea. This is 2014 year. My company was start fighting in the Lugansk region. And we have many explains, many missions, and one of these missions this is reconnaissance artillery. I've been in the higher building, this is maybe 11 or 12th floor, and I was help another troops. This is Ukrainian air forces who stay in the Lugansk airport. And we was protect this airport. And Russian troops come behind this position, and I was reconnaissance artillery. And in the same moment, enemy artillery shot, be explosion behind me. So in this time, this has happened 5th September in 2014, and I have damaged my right arm and not convulsed because my spinal cord was totally destroyed. I want the guys who have the same damage or easier or harder, this doesn't matter. They start being the sports. Try swimming pool, try running, try the bicycle. This is not important. And be independent. Not stay at home all day, not being the parents, you must do something. And maybe you be good programmer or good teacher, but sport help you make your dreams. Your mind be clear and your body start to be stronger. Invictus Games for me, this is respect, relationship, and winner.
Cycling at the Invictus Games is taking place over a 12-kilometre street circuit around Dusseldorf. The hot weather from earlier in the week had faded away, and conditions were perfect for road racing. The IRB2 category was the first criterium race of the day. This category is for cyclists with impairments to one of two limbs, who may also have a balance impairment. With Flanders not being far away from Dusseldorf, it was unsurprising to see 5 of the 11 cyclists on the start line flying Belgium colours, while the rest of the field included 2 Americans, 2 Colombians and a Romanian. The course was playing into the hands of cyclists from the Low Countries, and 3 Belgians were well positioned in the leading group of 5. While the Belgians were controlling the pace on the road, the fans were getting ready to celebrate the winners of the time trials from earlier in the day. Specifically the IRB3 Open race, which was won by James Rogers, captain of the United Kingdom team. Back on the road, it was no change, at least not at the front of the race. The next medals were given to winners in the IRB3 Masters category, a race for older riders. Team UK's David Jarvis won this race, with Denmark's Kasper Holm and Kenneth Hiltoft claiming silver and bronze, with Hiltoft receiving a hug from Harry himself. And another person wanted to join the podium, Jarvis's daughter, Sophia. In the meantime, moves had been made on the road, with Belgium's Peter Kouberg powering off the front for the race's decisive move. Colombia's Maurizio Penna was in second, and Belgium's Thierry Dutry was third. But no one could catch Kouberg, who could afford to soak up the experience. In table tennis singles, the TT2 category final was between Germany's Jorge Hinrichs and the Republic of Korea's Choi Il-sang. The two had met in the group stages, with Choi coming out on top. TT2 is a seated category for competitors with impaired trunk or balance functionality. Hinrichs attempted to raise his game to defeat Choi, whose country are one of the powerhouses of the global game. But the Korean was simply too good and took victory in straight games. The TT7 category is for competitors with psychological impairments and less severe physical impairments. In the women's singles, it brought Israel's Mor Mizra and Australia's Verity Sanchez together. Sanchez has osteoarthritis in her knees and inflammation in her shoulders after she was injured in the Australian Army. She was full of agile movement, though, around the court and won the first game 11-4. In the second, Mizra came back impressively to take it 11-7 and force a decider. The final game was a similar story. 10-7 to Mizra, and it was match point. With overall victory secured soon after. Another table tennis gold for Israel. And with a further chance of glory, because Menash Zorik was in action in the men's singles final, again in the TT7 category. Zorik had already won gold in doubles, beating Christian Munster and his partner along the way. And he had the upper hand on the German again, dominating rallies from well behind the table. Sit back and enjoy this point. A beautiful rally between the pair, won by Zorik. He went on to win for a personal second gold in table tennis at these games.
I'm Jules Grunewald. I'm from the Dutch national team. My injury is a shot wound in my right arm, and I'm playing sitting volleyball, and I'm 26 years old. I heard from the Invictus Games the first time in the revalidation center when I was recovering from my wounding. And they advised me to go look at a training. And that was for me the first moment when I get in contact with the Invictus Games. I think the concept of the Invictus Games are really good. You come together with a lot of people who are with different woundeds, but with all the same goal, and that is recovery. When you spoke to someone, everyone is saying, we do this together. I had a shot wound in Afghanistan, 16 January 2021. And at that time I had my hand was still on it, but because of the damage in the arm, we decided a year ago to amputate it. And yeah, that was really hard. And yeah, then you have PTSD, and yeah, with that you have to learn living, and no, that's hard to hear. And all your comrades in the army going further, they get a new rank or they go to missions. And for your own feeling, you stay, yeah, you're still standing still. You're not going forward. But that's not happening because you make really big steps. But at some moments you don't see that anymore. At that moment, it's like everything is standing still. And you're thinking, will I survive? How I will come out of it? And yeah, you are like in a roller coaster. You're laying down there on a bed in a field hospital, and yeah, the only thing where you think is, what happened to me? How is it possible? And yeah, it was really difficult to get out of it. And then the first time you go back in the Netherlands, you saw your friends of your family. And yeah, I think that was the hardest part, when you see them suffer because of you. I have tattooed the map of Afghanistan on it. It's like you can see it here. This is the compass. So yeah, it's like, for me, it's showing me the way in difficult times. And I have to put this text on it. It means wounded but not defeated. And that is why, yeah, Invictus means the same. I hope after the games that I inspire 1 or 2 people. That's for me winning.
Now to the gold medal match, and Invictus Games debutants Colombia meeting defending champions Poland. This was another classic. If the Colombians had any trepidation facing the Poles, they didn't show it. At 13-all in the first set, a narrow lead for the Colombians. But Poland would go on to do what they so often do, pull away when the pressure counts. A close first set, won by the defending champions. The Duke of Sussex was in the crowd celebrating his birthday by watching a terrific sitting volleyball match. Into set 2, and the Colombian fight back was on.
First point of the...
A little scoreboard pressure on the Poles, translated into 2 set points.
From the captain.
As Daria Sigielka went wide, the South American celebrated. The start of set 3 and an early advantage for the Poles in this best of 15 contest. The defending champions were pressurising the debutants and opened up a 12-5 lead. But a stunning response from the Colombians took it to 14-all. Who would get the crucial match point opportunity? At the net, the decision would go the way of Poland. 15-14 and gold medal point. A dramatic last point, and it was won by the defending champions Poland, who were overjoyed. But nonetheless, a fantastic Invictus Games sitting volleyball debut from the Colombians, winning silver. Poland the champions.
Archery closes off the Invictus Games 2023, and starting with the women's novice recurve gold medal match. It was Yulia Shevchuk of Ukraine who led France's Marie-Cécile Buff 4-0 after 2 very close first rounds. Under the pressure, Buff upped her game and pulled off a perfect 10. It was then over to Shevchuk to respond with what was to be the final arrow, as she delivered the score needed to seal the gold medal. Marie-Cécile Buff leaving on the high of that final shot, taking the silver, and Yulia Shevchuk victorious for Ukraine. And next on the range was Poland's Tomasz Życierski, who faced Bob Terup of Denmark. Consistent archery from both and 2 close first rounds completed saw Życierski leading 4-0. However, Terup was lying equal in the third round with a final arrow, hoping to take it to another round. With a 7 to beat, Życierski kept his focus to finish with a 9 and do enough to wrap it up. Gold for Poland and Bob Terup taking the silver. Celebrations all round for Tomasz Życierski and his team.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Here in Dusseldorf, at the finish line, at full time, when the whistle blows and the action stops, the Invictus Games are the start and not the end of the journey.